Welcome. This third part of episode 377 will be different. Why? Because learning to regulate ourselves shouldn't stop at an explanation. It requires practice. We live in an era where many people know what they should do, but struggle to sustain it. We know we need sleep, a healthy diet, and physical movement, and that certain behaviors harm us. But knowing doesn't always mean doing. Between knowing and acting lies a fundamental capacity, self-regulation. That capacity can be learned and trained. Let's begin. First, stop. You don't need to change anything yet. Simply observe your body. How are you sitting? How is your jaw? How are your shoulders? How are you breathing? Is your abdomen relaxed or tense? Is there any part of your body calling for attention? Don't correct anything. Just observe. This is the first Pharaoh exercise. Feel before acting. Many automatic behaviors begin before we are fully aware of them. The body might tense up. Breathing might change. Restlessness might arise. A thought might repeat itself. And then the impulse appears. That's why we're going to practice taking a brief pause. When an intense impulse arises, try this. Stop. Breathe. Observe. Choose. It doesn't mean you always have to say no to yourself. It means you want to regain the ability to decide. Now, let's move to the second exercise, the Pharaoh traffic light. Red, stop. Don't automatically carry out the behavior. Yellow, observe. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? What is happening in my body? What am I thinking? What do I want to do? What do I really need? Green, choose. Now ask, does what I'm about to do bring me closer to my goal or take me further away? That question can change a lot of things. Because an impulse isn't a command, it's a signal. And a signal can be heard without being immediately obeyed. Now, let's practice something even more important. The space between impulse and action. The next time an automatic behavior arises, try to create a few minutes of space. Not to punish yourself. Not to forbid yourself from feeling. Simply to observe. During that time, take note what happened beforehand. What did I think? What did I feel? Where did I feel in my body? What did I want to do? What did I do? This serves as a small laboratory for self-discovery, and it begins to reveal patterns to us. You might discover that certain impulses arise after an argument, or when you are alone, tired, feeling rejected, frustrated, or needing to escape an emotion. Then, a much deeper question emerges. Am I responding to a physical need, or am I trying to regulate an emotion through a specific behavior? This question is not intended to diagnose you. It is meant to help you observe yourself. And if an eating disorder, dependency, or significant compulsive behavior is present, this observation is not a substitute for professional evaluation or treatment. Now, let's train another skill, tolerating a little frustration. Frustration is a part of life. We cannot always get what we want immediately. A person who never learns to wait can end up dependent on instant gratification. That is why you can practice brief, conscious pauses in everyday situations. When the urge arises to respond by eat, check your phone, or abandon a task immediately, ask yourself, can I wait a little while? You don't need to prove anything. You simply need to practice the ability not to react automatically. Every time you manage to create that space, you are training a skill. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline means remembering what you chose when the emotion of the moment tries to pull you in a different direction. That is why we're going to use a simple tool. One goal, one action, one time frame. Not 10 goals, just one. What do you want to improve? What is the first concrete action? How long will you practice it? Then observe, correct, and continue. You don't need perfection. You need repetition. Because repeated action can become a habit, and a habit can change the way we live. This is where the true meaning of putting on the gloves comes in. It doesn't mean fighting against your body. It doesn't mean hating yourself. It doesn't mean punishing yourself. It means saying, I am going to work seriously on myself, with knowledge, with willpower, with help when needed, and with joy. Because discovering that we are capable of change can become an extraordinary source of motivation. Closing guiding exercise. Tonight, before going to sleep, take a few minutes to write down, what behavior do I want to transform? What usually happens beforehand? What do I feel in my body? What emotion arises? What do I do afterwards? And finally, what small, different choice can I make tomorrow? Don't promise to transform your entire life. Choose one action, carry it out, and observe what happens. Because self-regulation isn't built by thinking, someday I'll change. It is built when you can say, today I chose differently, and tomorrow you choose again, and the day after you choose again, until the thing that initially required effort becomes a part of who you are. Key Pharaoh, you cannot regulate what you do not perceive. First feel, then understand, and finally choose. Pharaoh guiding quote, between impulse and action, there is a space. That is where your freedom begins. In the next part, we will go even deeper. Because sometimes we know perfectly well what we are doing, yet we still do not know why a part of us need to do it. And that is where we will enter Jung's territory. The shadow. Remember, awareness chooses. Discipline transforms. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a like, comment, share this video to build collective awareness. Learn with ECEL Pharaoh, science with consciousness. Because when it comes to health, knowledge is not neutral. It is vital.